these teams are just Karsa, and those counter picks in lane mean so much more.
Well, Shurima is in absolute shambles here as top esports ban Azir, Renekton, and Rel. I think Rel's from Shurima. I'm not actually that sure, but it's going to be Orianna locked in as the first pick. Orianna is the first pick, Larry. Orianna.
Hey, it makes sense. Again, a signature for both of these players. It is now 100% win rate in this series so far, but IG going to keep it consistent. They're going to go back to the Kalista. We have seen it bot lane in both games, but let's not forget how dominant TheShy was on this champion last year. It was pretty much perma-banned against TheShy.
And you know what? Shun, with the Nidalee available, is still going to opt for something else. Still in the AP jungle talent pool here. The Lillia has been one of the picks that he's looked good on across the course of this year. It's answered with this Hecarim from Karsa. It's what he played in game number 1. Didn't work out that well for them in game 1. With the mid lane and the jungle are locked in, we'll see where top esports go to round out their first part of the draft.
I do really like the Hecarim against the Lillia. You have a decent clear speed. She really can't pull you out in the jungle. You have very easy access to magic resist items, so it's completely fine. You also can always follow her with your E and then your ultimate, so her movement speed from her Q passive doesn't mean too much. And JackeyLove keeping the playmaking alive, going back to the Tristana.
I love the priority that JackeyLove gives to this Tristana. It's like him and Light are the 280 carries in the league that just love to go for this pick. It's answered, though, with this Nautilus once again from Lucas. The Nautilus Kalista has been the combo that IG believe in. And once again, in the first portion of the draft, we're seeing this scaling versus early game aggression. Scaling on the side of top esports, early aggression on the side of IG.
Yeah, the themes are staying very true. I wouldn't be surprised to see IG ban out 2 supports, the Alistar being one of them, maybe the Leona as well. If you remember, those were 2 of the champions why Nautilus fell so far out of meta this year was, remember at the start of the split, we were having Leona versus Alistar every game. Both of them much tankier than Nautilus, have good matchups. Nautilus not as potent as all in. You dredge line Alistar or Leona, and then they will win out in that 2v2. So I do like these bans coming through for IG.
I am a little curious what Zhuo goes for in terms of that support pick with so many bans on the hard engaged supports. But things like the Rakan still available, so we could go towards less of the tankiness, but still that same snap hard engage available. Over to the side of IG, though, still got 2 picks remaining, Larry.
Yeah, I expect AD soul laners. I like this hover for the Lucian coming out. It would be something that can go between both mid and top lane. They are instead just going to go towards the Syndra. Moving to top esports, so one interesting niche pick that could come out for Zhuo is the Sett. He's actually played it twice this split. Is still a tank, is still an all-in support. The only other thing that would come to my mind is that Thresh as well.
I just love that we still get the Syndra coming through. We basically just see the same matchup 3 times, and the mid laner's like, no, I'm going to get the best of the matchup this time around. And it has been Rookie winning in lane at very least, but 369 goes back to this Jayce. It worked wonders in game number 2, so he's going to lock it in once more. And now to that support pick that we were contemplating before.
Yeah, again, the only 2 options that really come to my mind are Sett off the top of my head. Even something like the Gragas is gone. Ooh, though. That would definitely work, would give them lane prio, but point is, we expect to see hard engage support coming through, and Munchables, I call it like I see it, Zhuo bringing out the Sett. I did doubt myself for a second, though. I did doubt it.
I love to see it. I love to see it. And it was banned, wasn't it, previously, so makes sense. The Monkey King himself for TheShy, though, Wukong to round out the draft. Not a top laner that's been particularly meta this year, but it's something that, let's be honest, we all know that TheShy can play this. He's not played it this year just yet, but he's played pretty much every other champion in the top lane.
It is one of the only really good answers into the Jayce, in my opinion, because of the armor that you stack up from your passive, as well as the all-in potential you get at level 6. You are easily able to solo kill a Jayce if he does overextend.
This is TheShy's 13th different champion pick in that top lane for the split. This guy is a man of many talents and apparently a monkey of many talents as well as he locks in the Wukong. But it's time to get into game number 3 and have this series decided. Since JackeyLove joined top esports, in terms of games, we are now on 4-4 on the tally between the 2 organizations. This last game will decide which organization leads in the new rival.
Exactly, and this is such a fun rivalry to watch. 2 individually skilled teams, very aggressive on both sides, interesting drafts, playmaking. They aren't afraid to let loose, and both of them are very creative, whether it's the Baron sneaks, Bush plays, no matter what, they look for these plays.
Certainly do. We're going to jump into game number 3 of this best of 3. And you know what? I'm keeping my eyes on that mid lane again. Knight versus Rookie. Rookie back on form. Let's see if Knight has what it takes to take him on in the mid lane. We're into game number 3. We're onto the Rift and we're ready to party. And I have to say, when you look across the lanes, 369 moving in. Zhuo was up on the top side here, but TheShy respects it, moves away. The Gyos come through behind me. And when you look across the 2 rosters here, there is so much going on in this game. In the top lane, very much a skill matchup, even if it is favored in favor of the Wukong. Same with that mid lane. It's been Rookie winning out both sides of that matchup so far in this series. And then in the bottom side, you know that 2v2 is going to be popping.
That's the thing is, IG have lanes that can be, like, are all gankable. They can all play very aggressive. Top lane, 369 should win early. I like the respect we're seeing here. TheShy is actually waiting in the river brush because one way you can find an advantage in the first 3 levels is by getting that level 1 trade. 369 doesn't give it to him, so he should be able to find some good trades before that level 3 mark, and then especially level 6, which is when TheShy will really come online.
That'll be the moment for TheShy to make his move. And it's quite often the way, right, with the Wukong lanes, as the level 6 really is the huge spike, is very early trade from the 2 top laners, and using the brush there from TheShy to close the gap onto 369 and get into melee range. That's how he has to play because, as we mentioned before, Jayce having the range advantage in a lot of these top lane matchups.
It is nice to see TheShy, despite the fact that 369 didn't fall for the river brush play, still finding a way to get that all in. Now again, the thing I'm most interested in seeing, I guess, is top lane, because these 2 guys don't stop. I was wondering where Shun would want to put his pressure. He is pathing towards the top side, and again, we have seen this split. It has mostly been about Shun linking up with TheShy and letting him kind of do as he pleases. It now seems like both teams after last game are going to put a lot of focus on top lane, leave their bot laners on an island. But when Zhuo is playing the Sett, this is a champion that can expend Flash very easily because he takes the Hex Flash and look to be more aggressive.
Oh, 369 with the disengage to push TheShy away. And I have to say, this is my favorite top lane matchup when it comes to the players. TheShy and 369 just going head-to-head, toe-to-toe. Shun moving in to try and make it less of an even fight, and he's not on a ward. 369. Not again, mate. Not again. Here we go. The all-in from TheShy. Can he escape? Flash comes out from 369. The acceleration gate gives him the movement speed, but he's got nowhere to go. Rookie's here, and he's just going to gift over first blood to the enemy jungler.
And they punish him once again. He did throw out the shock blast. I didn't see if he actually threw it out backwards or just missed. He did it right before he flashed into the E. But still, point is, he gets punished. TheShy doesn't even have to waste it. 369 TPing TheShy. Oh, we'll get a match. And guess what? Shun is still on the top side of the map.
I love how TheShy doesn't even blink on that recall. Not even a flinch from him. He's like, I've got this one. I'm out of here. The TP matched on the subside. TheShy still has his flash available, so 369 could be in trouble if the all-ins come through. These burst trades, so intense between the top laners.
And let's also remember now that TheShy is stronger because he has 2 Doran's items, Doran's Shield plus Doran's Blade, to where 369 just going into the longsword. So TheShy gonna have much more sustain in this laning phase. He can afford to look for those trades. Also has refillable pot as well, just compared to a normal potion for 369. So you should expect to see TheShy continue to dominate and do well in this matchup.
Oh, poor forced to flash there. Stepped way too far forward. He wanted to get that ward down that you can see in the river brush, but top esports were already in the jungle, never mind the river. And Puff is punished for it. But now, with that flash on cooldown, that's really big news for Zhuo, because flash forward from Sett is a terrifying thing.
And we can also see that Karsa is heavily playing around bot lane right now, right? Goes for the deep invade, takes away both Crop and Wolves. So once again, Munchables, Shun probably not going to get his Gromp. I'm actually not sure if it's... Yeah. Karsa already got it, actually. Oh!
Oh, there's the flash cleanse comes out from Puff, but the all-in from JackeyLove, and Karsa's behind the tower. Giddy up, horsey. Karsa gets the kill in the bottom side. It's 1-for-1 on the scoreboard.
And it's so hard to explain anything in these games because action can just happen out of nowhere when it's top esports versus IG, and I love what we're seeing. JackeyLove and Zhuo consistently every game being the aggressors in the bot side towards the complete reverse, right? IG are the ones winning out in top lane when it is these isolated 1v1, so it's just a battle of TheShy versus JackeyLove, which is very crazy to say, you know, thinking back to like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, it's kind of insane, isn't it? And I'm so excited, though, that is the statement you can make, that TheShy has been one of the big players here. Shun doesn't know that Sett is here. He lacks critical information. He'll be chased down as well. Ara's hooves fast enough onto the blast cone. Shun gets away with it and somehow escapes with his life.
Yeah, really nice by him. Still, I like that they brought Zhuo up this time. Remember, we were questioning last game. We're like, how do top esports adapt? How do IG adapt? Do they start bringing supports up to the top side? And at least top esports, Rookie.
Zhuo is all over the map right here. Rookie gets hit by the shockwave, but still survives. He's hit level 6 himself. Luckily for him, Lucas was in the lane. Rookie, that was real close to going real bad.
Oh, really nice by them, and just both teams proactively making plays. I do want to go back to a conversation if I could. Oh God, Knight.
No conversations today, only team fights.
That, though I don't think TheShy is the best top laner in LPL by any means, that's for sure. He's definitely coming back into form this split. I definitely think he's probably sitting around that like top 5, top 6 mark. Players like Zoom, Nuggery, Breathe, you know, sitting over, maybe Xiaohu as well, but still TheShy back in a top 5, top 6 position in LPL is always great to see.
369 fishing for a little bit more as he knew Rookie was going to be trying to recall behind the tower. But you're absolutely right. It feels just fantastic to be able to include TheShy in that conversation once again, because something we mentioned previously is like, as an international viewer, if you're just tuning in for this exciting series because you see the names Top Esports and IG, you maybe think of TheShy still as this excellent top laner that's maybe the best in the world, always wins his lane, etc., etc. Not really the case in 2020. Had a really rough year, and towards the start of this year as well, hadn't really been able to do much for himself, but today it feels like he is back on form. Yeah,
again, I still say not at that number 1 spot for sure. We saw his performance on tanks, still isn't quite there. But when he gets on fighters, when he gets on bruisers, there's only a handful of players in the LPL that are above him. On the opposite side of that, though, again, 369 definitely not having the same split he did last year. Ooh.
Yeah, that level 6 all-in that you talked about from TheShy, but it goes a little short. And 369 quite happy to walk away from that one. Didn't even have to use his flash. So all in, just completely whiffed on the side of TheShy. Nicely done by 369. And, you know, the CS lead is going to be there from TheShy, but he's not getting these kills.
Still, though, 20 CS lead is massive. That is, you know, a kill's worth of gold. So finding the item at night, stunned out. We just keep going back and forth, Munchables. Back and forth action between mid-top. It doesn't end.
Let's just talk about the fact that our mid laners have supports this game.
Yes.
Both AD carries happy to just solo farm on the bottom side of the map, and Zhuo and Lucas just sitting in the mid lane because they know that's where the action is.
And we're going to see IG be the ones to start this up. Ooh, they're trying to bait out a fight coming in. 369 was able to push in the wave, so he can wrap around.
Yeah, Zhuo's in a bit of trouble. He's gone quite deep on this one, but Karsa's going onto TheShy, trying to finish a kill off. Haymaker dodged from, but TheShy goes down. Scatter the Weak goes through the entire team. Karsa back in with the onslaught of shadows, and it looks like Top Esports are just about winning it out. Shun goes in. The flash from Knight was a little too late, and Shun gets an answer. Zhuo goes down, but Top Esports win the fight. Rookie still around. You can never quite count him out with that blue buff. But it looks like the Herald goes the way of Top Esports.
And that one was really strange because, right, most of IG stayed on the Herald to where TheShy was trying to zone out Karsa, but Karsa just said, hey, I'm just going to walk up. I'm just going to hit you. 369 follows through, is able to hit an accelerated shock blast, and TheShy's instantly gone while the rest of IG are still hitting the Herald, and thank God we're going to get a replay this time. It's like what I'm talking about. IG trying to focus on Zhuo on the opposite side, focus on the Herald. TheShy instantly going to go down between Karsa and 369, and then we see a really nice scatter of the week coming out from Rookie, but it doesn't matter because Knight's been left untouched, and Zhuo and Karsa are both so tanky. They do end up getting another kill in the end, but still nice win for the side of TES, and Karsa 2-0-2 on the Hecarim now.
And the same story in game number 1, right? It was Karsa on the Hecarim, and in the early game, he got ahead. Even though IG won game number 1, it was Top Esports leading to start things out. So once we got into the bigger team fights, the IG really started to pop off. But let's talk compositions quickly while we've got a minute here, because once again, it does feel like IG very much about the early game with this Kalista, and much more scaling on the side of Top Esports. So realistically, we need to see IG take control of the game.
Exactly. Both very skirmish and team fight heavy, just about when they want to do it. I do think IG have much more burst damage this time around, so even if it does go a bit later, there's always a chance. If someone oversteps just a little bit, someone from IG jumps in and Top Esports are just dead, but we know Top Esports have played very similar compositions in game 2. You have the Jayce, he's going to provide this siege potential later on. You have the Orianna and Tristana insurance policy, and you have a front line to protect them. So Top Esports winning 800 gold. Now they're getting the first dragon. They're not going to be on any sort of timer like they were game 1, and they are in a favorable position.
Shy getting all in now by 369, but he turns it around with the Cyclone, and maybe this is a bad move from 369 in the worst of that one. Now fight in the mid lane. I'm not entirely sure who's here, but Shun taken low, gets the sleep onto the enemy mid laner. Haymaker to get the shield, but Zhuo flashes out to safety. Puff trying to go for the dive. Here the render, and the pierce. Puff puts his mark on the game.
And we didn't get to see how that one started, but nice finish coming out from Puff. Zhuo doing a ton of damage with that Haymaker, buying a lot of time, but this part is very similar to game 1, where JackeyLove left on his island, picking up all the plates. It doesn't end.
A dive onto Knight, and there's nothing he can do about it. Kill for Rookie. Lucas survives on a modicum of health, just calculating the play perfectly. And Puff now moves down to the bottom side to answer for the Herald that's going to charge on through into the tower. They will get the charge, but it doesn't matter all too much.
Yeah, still, Top Esports are the ones with the tower lead. They now also have a pressure point on the map to play through. They should be able to consistently push out that bot wave. You know, past river, someone on IG has to answer, but Shun throwing out the swirl seed.
Yeah, no sleep available right now for Shun, so he can't follow up on the swirl seed. He's just buying space for the Shy to get that recall off. He's going to clear the wave and leave the top lane alone. This just stops 369 being able to really punish the recall from the Shy, and it means the Shy doesn't have to use his TP.
That's really nice for him. His ult will be up by the time he gets back to lane as well. We're going to get a replay of how this all went down. Zhuo just in an awkward place. Puff doing a really nice job. Through with that ultimate, now the rend into the Q, and just guarantees it.
It's clean. It's real clean. So for anyone that doesn't know how Kalista works or how the rend works specifically, any autos or projectiles that are in the air when you hit E will explode on contact like a rend. So that pierce that came out, he hit it just before the E, so it means that the pierce does an extra bunch of damage on impact from the rend. So very nicely done by Puff.
Our expert ADC on the desk here to provide all the niche details. We do appreciate it, Mr. Munchables. And now the gold a bit higher for Top Esports. Still not only about 1.5k, but 2 minutes until Dragon. We're not near any Rift Heralds, and we're still looking for IG to be the ones to make the play. I think it needs to be around the Shy. We've seen the Shy is winning consistently in these 1v1s. He has more consistent DPS, especially with that Conqueror, but him and 369 are being left on an island, and IG have kind of been left to react to a lot of Top Esports plays in mid and bot.
Which is not really the look IG are going for here. They should be the ones trying to accelerate the game. Speaking of acceleration, we got a real quick horsey up towards the top side with the speed boosts from Orianna. TheShy, he doesn't know what's about to happen. He doesn't know that he doesn't get to play the game anymore. Shockwave comes in and it's an easy kill. But guess what? There's a showstopper in, and Lucas has bitten off more than he can chew. The anchor out, but he's feared. Back into the waiting arms of Top Esports. 2 more picks, and now onto the tower.
And I feel like IG played that one a bit too slow, because realistically, you know Top Esports won't be in the bot lane. Rookie was actually freezing that one for a bit and then started slow pushing it out. No Dragon bot side. They're not going to go mid. Top outer turret is going to be the play. And Lucas and Shun, a bit slow on the recalls, and Shun trying to wrap around, definitely doesn't have the time, and Lucas sadly getting caught out as Puff. I think Puff's dead.
Puff kind of
Nope,
aggressive
Puff's good.
here. He did a lot of damage, but JackeyLove doesn't commit because Shun was nearby, and importantly wants to get that reset off. But I want to mention Zhuo was like, no, Puff, you don't get to reset my AD carries recall. Not today, Sonny Jim. As he'll be able to get his reset off himself. Knight is a little deep here. Could get caught out if IG really wants to commit, but they want to focus on this tier 1 in the mid lane. They will be able to finally finish that one off and get themselves their first tower of the game. Shock Blast in, though. And actually, they don't get to finish the tower. Nicely done by 369 to defend.
It is nice that IG don't get the injection of gold for this turret, but I've said this before with Hysterics, that turrets like this give you like a false sense of security because it's not really there. IG can walk up and just one-tap it at any time. So they still got most of the job done, but still TS get back to lane. They're going to start contesting for mid-push, and it's going to lead to this topside Herald where IG just concede, and they're going to start setting up vision for the next dragon.
And it feels like across the course of this series, we've really seen the difference between the two teams on how they win games. For IG, it's been the difference in these skirmishes, in these fights, and just muscling themselves a win. For Top Esports, it's about objective control, and Game 3 is the perfect example where they were the first 2 towers to be taken. They've got both Heralds, they've got a Drake for themselves, the next one on the map, and you fully expect Top Esports to try and go for that. Their Herald gets the charge despite the DPS onto it from IG. Their tower goes down 3-0 in terms of towers, and IG, with this Kalista, will be able to get the second Drake, but Top Esports still happy with this as a trade.
Yeah, Top Esports knowingly give this up. They use the Shockwave. They think, hey, we don't need to take these fights because, once again, we drafted the comp that outscales, and now we're not on a timer. We're both 3 dragons away from that soul. Baron's going to be up in about 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and we're going to be at a point where those 5v5s are going to come out. So I like TS backing off, playing for more breakpoints, just control your jungle quadrants, look to steal away from some camps from Shun so Karsa can accelerate his growth even more, and then fight when you're strong. But JackeyLove is looking like he wants to go for a cheeky play.
And so the IG, they need to get themselves back in the game. They have the faster composition. They need to win early on. Lucas can't quite find the knockup. And yet again, IG's attempt falls short. 3,000 is the gold lead for Top Esports on the composition that scales better. But Rookie wants to change that stun onto Zhuo. And that's all it's going to be.
Yeah, and also in terms of items, Rookie changing his build this time around. Last game, he went Loon's Tempest. I think it made more sense because Top Esports comp wasn't as tanky. This time, though, going for that Liandry's recognizing, hey, I'm going to be hitting Zhuo and Karsa in most situations. So bringing that kind of tank busting potential. And TheShy going towards the Triforce. We don't see much Wukong, but when we have seen it, he actually usually goes for the Stride Breaker to get that bit of mobility, get that bit of movement speed to close the gap and look for those easier engages. But TheShy indexing more into that straight up dueling potential that you get from like the increased base damage and weaving in autos.
The ward there in the jungle meaning 369 can stop the back. But yeah, you mentioned the build from TheShy. It's not super surprising that he's going for a build that gives him a bit more 1v1 potential against 369. But realistically, maybe he needs to be looking towards the team fights instead, being that kind of utility top laner for his team. We'll be able to get the big Krug, so a small victory, an emotional victory for him there when it comes to these Krugs over 369. And it's got to feel a little bit bad for TheShy that he did kind of win the early matchup. He had a 20 CS lead earlier, but that lead that he had is all but gone at this stage in the game.
The thing is, we're getting to the point where we need to see him start grouping up. Like you just said with the team fights, he needs to be this primary engage, and they just need to throw all of their burst at the primary carries of TS. The problem with that is that TS drafted 3 carry champions. You can't focus on all of them. Maybe you hit a nice Wukong ult into like a 5-man Q coming out from Shun, hit a 5-man sleep, like best case scenario, but yeah, it's definitely going to be rough. But point is, we want to see IG group up. We want to see TheShy be with the team and look for those 5v5 team fights and skirmishes.
Maybe if they get themselves a Hurricane on Puff, then he can focus all the carries at once.
Oh.
But Lucas is getting focused. That was clutch from Lucas. Pulls himself to the wall, flashes over, and keeps himself safe. And this is why these rookies are so hyped up, mechanically incredibly sound. And even if he's caught out of position, gets himself out.
I think Lucas brings the best of all worlds. Ooh, as he's getting postured on. Rookie.
Oh, here it is. JackeyLove just about gets away. Karsa wants a bit of revenge. He's a big old horsey. Don't have a lot of damage. Very much building that tankier build with the Dead Man's Plate and the Turbo Chem Tank.
Yep.
JackeyLove just going to be trying to heal up off of the chicken.
But going back to the point about Lucas, it's like he has better mechanics than Reheal did. He's just as aggressive but smarter than Balan, but has the laning stability that like Southwind brought. Like he's not making too many errors. You know, Southwind is very safe. So he indexes into the strong points of all three of IG supports last year, but I think also builds upon them.
Yeah, if Balan was the glue and Reheal was the tape, and Southwind was the nails, then Lucas is the, I don't know, all-encompassing. He's like the JBL infomercial tool that does all of the jobs at once, and you get it, and sometimes it just breaks on the spot. But hopefully that's not the end of the analogy for Lucas.
Yep. We do have Dragon finally about to be up, though, in 40 seconds. I wonder if TS will even look to, like, fight for this one, or if they're just going to keep sending 3-6-9 top, play around top side. That would be nice for them. They are setting up vision bots, or they're at least signaling they're going to play for it. We do have TPs available for both top laners. TheShy would love to find a flank, but IG not able to get any flank wards down.
Just yet. This Drake, still only the third of the game, so it won't be massive for either team. But Top Esports are quite happy to stack these up because, again, it removes a win condition from IG. Being able to stack the Drakes is exactly what they would have loved to do in the early game. And Top Esports will be the ones able to go for that, as Lucas looking for a play on towards 369, gets the vision. 369 didn't have his W available, so can't clear the ward. Everybody knows what's going on the map right here. Top Esports answering once again. That paper-thin turret in the mid lane still standing for Top Esports as they go towards the Drake.
And IG are actually the ones who opt out of fighting for this Dragon. I think they realize that, hey, you know, we're falling behind. We're getting outscaled. We don't want to go for this. They didn't have any vision, I think, is the biggest part. So you're walking in blind against a composition that not only outranges you, but also out frontlines you. So, gonna just kind of wait it out. The problem is there isn't really anything they're waiting for. They're waiting for Top Esports to make a mistake for them to overstep, and we don't even really see IG aggressively looking for picks on the side lane. I will say it's partly due to Top Esports choking them out. They're doing such a good job at controlling vision in IG's jungle, but IG just can't keep sitting on their laurels waiting and hoping for something to happen.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. Is like, yes, this is what they're currently doing. But what's the next port of call? How do you transform this game from IG? Is it just stack in a brush and hope for a pick? How do you go from here? Because Top Esports, they're the kind of team, we've said it every single game, that is willing to just go for a 20-minute Baron. No vision here from IG. They're suspicious, though, as they move on over. They will be able to stop the play.
I remember there was one game in one of the JDG series where Top Esports did this 3 times in a row. Go on, back off, go on, back off. And I think JDG just thought, okay, no team would be dumb enough to do this a 3rd time, and Top Esports finally got the Baron. So don't underestimate Top Esports.
Top Esports stood there with their arms folded and a smug look on their face like, oh yeah, we're dumb enough, buddy. And if it works, it ain't dumb. That's what I like to say. So Top Esports, not going to go for that this time around though, but I want to revisit the question I brought up. What do you do as IG? For all of the IG fans out there, and there's a lot of them, what's the port of call here? How do IG get themselves back into this one?
What they need to do is hard commit to one side lane. Wherever TheShy is playing around, you bring Shun, and then you either bring Rookie and Lucas. You give up pressure on the opposite side of the map. And sure, there's potential you can lose out on more, as we're seeing now with TS pushing top side. But you need to create a window somewhere and create breathing room to where then you could try to turn mid and try to force a Baron play. Create that numbers advantage by giving up pressure on the opposite side.
TheShy looking for the 1v1 with 369. Does win it out just about here as a play happens mid. IG with a 4v4. Zhuo the target. Good flash from the rookie support. Now Rookie looking for the scout of the week. Shockwave in. It's only on to Lucas, and it means that Top Esports can't pull the trigger.
Luke is so close to hitting JackeyLove and also potentially forcing out that cleanse or the ultimate as well. Nice aggressive plays finally coming out from IG, and they kind of did what we were talking about to a lesser extent. They didn't all in on trying to commit to killing 369, but they sent 2 members down, got pressure, and then all in on the mid lane. Top Esports, though, are fine with that. They don't give over too much. Sure, we did lose some flashes, but we're going to see a replay. It was actually Rookie who took JackeyLove's, but still has the cleanse, still has the rocket jump available.
That'll be a crucial little combo. Rookie off to the side. Stun up onto Karsa. They want themselves a pick. TP coming through. Scout of the week was what started the fight. Lucas pulled back in. Haymaker in. The better of the Rookie supports. This 369 flies over to the skies. He screams as he grabs himself the double kill. And now onto the rest of the fight. Put forced away. Shun the last man standing. But JackeyLove doesn't want that to be true. The shot blasted. And 369 with his 3 kills. And he's rolling a 9.
And I wonder if they even have time to go for the end. They're clearly ignoring the Baron, looking to push down the mid lane. But great fight coming out from Top Esports. Might just be the end.
Beautiful team fighting from Top Esports, like you should expect, but just exceptional snowballing. This was the composition that was meant to scale, but they win the early game. They snowball out of control, and at 26 minutes on the clock, they look for 1 extra kill onto Lucas before finishing the Nexus and taking their title as the king of this modern classic of a rivalry.
And it's so cool to see, right? Top Esports come out ahead in spring 2020 playoffs. IG then 2-0 them in summer regular season. We come into spring, Top Esports winning once again. This is a game we got to look forward to. Smiles and laughs